From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Hello, I'm Joe Sanders and I'm your host for Around Foxborough. Today we have some special guests, 4 of them actually. 2 of them are here with me now, but they're from the Ahern Middle School, the class of 2030 from Foxborough. But my 2 guests start with, they're both in the Lion King production. They're going to be Mufasa. So we have Maxime and we have Tyrus. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Well, Lion King is one of many, musicals, but this week happens to be when they're going to be showing it, and we won't be able to see it on this program, but you guys must be excited. So tell me, what got you interested in getting involved? Maxime, you go first.
Okay. So when I was just a little gremlin, I did like some Russian classes. Russian classes, and it was Russian, but it was also like small performances with just the small class of like 10 or so kids. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised, but we even did one during COVID, like over Zoom.
Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And that kind of got me started in the drama direction. Mm-hmm. And so then when I was in the elementary school, and I got of age. Unfortunately, I missed out on 3rd grade play because of the virus. But
right.
In 4th grade, I was everything kind of sort of went back to normal, and I was able to participate in Frozen Junior, and that was fun, and I really liked it, and I was looking forward to starting plays in the middle school, and the middle school is great for plays. It's run by Mr. Walker. He is a 7th grade English teacher. I actually have him, but he does the plays, and he's awesome. The play is amazing, always usually, because to Mr. Walker's standards, we're not putting on a like the run-of-the-mill middle school play. We're putting on a production, like an actual full-blown, we have spotlights. I think we get filmed and makeup, costumes, props, like a set. For the last couple of years, we've had like actual structures that we walk on, and like a couple feet off the ground on the structures.
Well, it's not. We'll talk. I'll be talking about Mr. Walker in a second. I'm interested though, actually, in asking Tyrese, right? Tell us your experience and what got you involved in this.
So when I was 8, my dad signed me up for this cool Frozen-like musical, and it was for camp. And when I turned 9, I had like a Lion King cake for my birthday.
Okay.
And I was so happy that I roared. And then when I turned 11, I decided to watch The Lion King with my mom and my dad and my sister. And in my head, I was like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And then, now there's actually a production going on for the musical The Lion King.
Right.
And I get to be Mufasa, my favorite character.
Wow.
And I did this for my mom because she loves The Lion King.
Well, that is great, and I like hearing the story. We said The Lion King is this week. Yeah. You mentioned some of the state. Well, Mr. Walker, he's one of the recent winners, or I guess awardees of the Partners in Patriotism Award here in Foxborough, and does a great job at the Ahern with the program. You mentioned the play in elementary school. Where did you go to elementary school?
I went to the Burrell Elementary School.
Okay, yeah, they have a production, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, now let's get into some of you guys are kind of here as the leads, so to say. Of course, you know, Mustafa, but there are a lot of people behind the scenes, as you started to say. Tell us a little bit about more the production, not just your role.
Well, the play, there's many different. Well, the music. This is a musical. There's a play and a musical, play in the fall, musical in the spring. But basically, it has many different parts to it. First part is obviously the cast. You know, the cast knowing how to say their lines, sing and dance and do all that stuff. And that's what you see when you're sitting down and you're watching the show. That's what you see on stage. What you don't see is the other parts, such as number 2, the set crew. The crew, while the cast is working on memorizing lines and choreography, the crew is building a set. The crew is building, painting, really, without the crew, the show would be kind of bland, in my opinion. And during the actual performance, the crew is what gets the set pieces moving around. They're the glue that holds the cast together. And then the third part is obviously the sound and lighting. If, you know, microphones, because no matter how many times Mr. Walker tells us to speak up, you know, some people, most people actually don't really want to project and use their voice. I'm also guilty of this, but microphones help dissipate the sound around the entire auditorium, and the lighting also like creates an atmosphere other than just like normal industrial lighting. And these three parts come together to create the production that we do every year.
So I have a question, and either one of you, Tyrese, I'm interested in your perspective on this. For example, you got the lighting crew that you said, you got the set. Do you have to have experience to get involved with this, or can you just volunteer at the Ahern? If you're, let's say you're going to the Ahern next year, you're going to be in 5th grade next year. Can you just, or 6th grade, can you just volunteer? Tell us about that.
Yeah, you for sure. Because you don't have to have experience. It's just the way you say the lyrics and your lines. Like, for example, Meadow, she just joined the school and she's ensemble and she's really good at her part. Like, when everybody doesn't know it, she teaches the other ensemble and the off night leads like what they're supposed to do if they don't know it. And she's really good at that.
Okay, now it's interesting, you mentioned the term off night leads, right?
Yeah.
Now I think I know what that is, but just for example, I know that there are 4 productions of The Lion King coming up. I got 2 Mustafas here, right? So obviously in my mind, probably one of you is going to go on 2 nights and 2 performances and the other one on the other. Is that the way it works?
Yeah.
Okay, so that really gives double the students the opportunity, right? Does every single part have that condition where there's a whole other cast that's there each night, or how does that work? Or do you know? It's possible you wouldn't even know that.
A lot, because of this thing that's called double casting, a lot of people get to be leads, and I think it also takes a little bit of the stress off of the director's back, because which one of these is going to be the Mufasa, for example? Oh, well, they can both be Mufasa, actually.
Okay.
And but other than that, it's great because, you know, I think both of us are fit for this role, and you know, it's, I don't know what to say.
Well,
it's
I think the important thing is, well, just a good example right now. I mean, what you just said, you said, well, you build relationships. I mean, I know this. I've helped out with plays in other schools before, and I've watched, for lack of a better term, the team build as you get closer to the performance. And you might not be surprised, but I'm always very happy to see after the last performance how everybody just you guys are together. I mean, it's a great thing, and for me it was a very proud moment to see students that I had worked with feel so good about themselves when they had their doubts going in. It was pretty interesting. So we don't have too much more time, but I was wondering if either or both of you would what would you tell a student that hadn't done anything maybe at the elementary school plays or something that is possibly interested? What would you tell them to do?
I mean, I would tell them, if they didn't get to experience any plays or musicals when they were in elementary school, I would tell them that they should try to do one of the musicals or plays, like in the spring or the fall. I would mention to them to do the musical because that can get their voice out, and they can probably do like bigger things as they grow up, which would be very good for them and their scholarship.
Okay, good. Hey, do you have anything to add, Max?
I would say just do it. You will probably feel strange and weird, but here's the secret. We're all strange and weird. Everybody who does the play collectively agrees that we're all silly, and that's what that's what holds us together. That's what makes us a family of cast and crew.
We didn't plan this, but you did say strange and weird, and we're going to take this strange and weird opportunity to change two bodies on this screen right now. So we'll be right back. Thank you. Boom. With the magic of television, we're back with different people here. Definitely different people. Okay, we have Ella and Kai. So ladies, Ella, why don't you start? Tell us about yourself and how you got interested in performing.
Well, I've always been a bit of a reader. My brother and sister kind of hate me for it. I'm always like reading in my bed and they're like, Ella, play with me outside. So I just love books so much, and I feel like theater is like an opportunity to express that. Like if you read like a book and then you find out there's a performance of it, you can do that. And it's really fun because you get to be the character you loved.
And if you read it, you probably know a heck of a lot more than just coming up and learning lines, right? Okay.
And I've always been a bit of a performer. From a very young age, I made my brother and sister do plays with me, like little skits, and we recorded them, and that was super fun. The first play I ever did, like with a real director, not just me being the director, was also at the Borough when I was in 4th grade. Okay. I also did Frozen.
Okay.
And that was really fun. That really kickstarted my career as an actor right now.
Yeah, very good. By the way, I failed to mention that both Ella and Kai are Rafiki from Lion King, which is this week here at the Ahern Middle School. So, Kai, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I always really liked acting and like the idea of acting. I really liked singing and dancing, but I never had the courage to like go on stage to do it until last year when my friend encouraged me to join the musical. And I think that really like made me realize that theater is like really fun, and the thrill of being on stage is like really nice, and I love all of my castmates, and they're really like, theater is just really accepting and really nice. The director is also really sweet.
You know, you mentioned something, we were talking a little bit before we went on air about everybody finds their home or whatever, something to that effect. Yeah. Ella, you were mentioning it. Could you kind of expound a little bit on that?
Yeah, well, so when everyone comes into the middle school, and they usually pretty much immediately you feel that everyone has already found their place, and they know where they belong. and some people feel like they're just a little bit weirder than the rest, and they're just like, I don't really belong with the rest of them. I feel like theater is like so widespread. All the grades do it. There's people from 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The last 2 grades, there's a little bit less because the first 2 grades they're trying out for the first time. But if you do it the first time, you will know if it's your thing or not. But it's very accepting. Like, everyone in there is nice, but they're all weird in the same way. So everyone is like that weird they're like, I don't know if I might not want to be friends with them, but we're all that same kind of weird. So we all feel like we're accepted by each other.
Wow, that's something. Did you have anything you wanted to mention also, or is that?
Same thing as Ella. Everybody in theater is super accepting, and we're all really just like, basically like, they're all really like weird in a good way. I really like all of them.
Well, that is good to hear. You know, one of the reasons that I'm in the middle school at the Ahern, I'm a special education assistant there, full-timer, you know, during the regular daytime. One of the things I really love is that there is that welcoming feeling. Now, a lot of times they say in middle school, oh, everybody's picking on each other, and sometimes that happens, but the point is, trust and teamwork is what you build, whether it's in sports or whether it's in musical.
Yeah, we're definitely.
You know, everybody has to learn their lines, right? Because if you don't, the rest of the team is let down because you're not ready. So there's a little pressure on the individual to make sure that they're ready. But when you're all together, the camaraderie that you build and the friendships, you'll have them for your life. I mean, that's a great thing. And and as I asked the 2 Mufasas, what would you recommend to, let's say, a 5th grader who's new at the school? I mean, and wasn't sure, but they thought they might want it. How do they first learn about an opportunity at the Ahern?
Well, I think just a little thing that I learned, you don't have to be an older kid just to get a main role. Like, when I was in 5th grade, I got Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. It's not really like the older kids get the main roles, and the younger kids get the ensemble. Like, there's so many leads that are 5th and 6th graders. And
interesting.
So you just have to give it a shot, and you usually find out when there's like posters around the school from before that they forgot to take down, and you're like, oh, that might seem fun. Or your friends have heard about it from their older siblings, and they're like, hey, my sister said, or my brother said this was really fun. Do you want to do it with me? And they're like, okay, I'll try it out then. And
also, I have to give a plug, the Daily Twos. Don't you mention that every morning?
Yeah.
At the Ahern, in homeroom, there's a daily, is it 2 minutes? Is that why they call it a Daily Two?
I think it's because there's 2 people
two
talking.
People.
Yeah.
Okay, but they give the highlights of what's going on in the school, and a lot of times I've heard them say, oh, if you want to try out for this, come out tonight, or they mention the night.
Usually they say like the auditions are tonight, and usually you have to sign up. You do have to sign up, and if you don't really want a main role, you can in the sign up, you can click I want an ensemble. Okay.
All right. So really there's many opportunities. So, okay, we've talked about, the arts. What other interests do each of you have other than acting? You said reading, but then I'll go to you, Kai. What interests do you have other than performing?
Well, I personally really like art. I love drawing. I draw a lot. Although I also like to play the violin.
Okay.
I have been playing it since I was in 5th grade, and I really enjoyed it. And like Ella, I also really like to read. I have tons of books on my bookshelves. And last thing I can think of is I really like collecting figurines and like little plushies and stuff.
Wow.
I think that's it.
That's interesting. Okay, we mentioned Mr. Walker earlier. Tell us about Mr. Walker. I want to hear about him. I know him, but I want you guys to tell the rest of the world about him.
Oh yeah. Mr. Walker is a really nice director. He's very loud, but
Yeah, he's very.
You hear that, folks?
He's very extravagant. I mean, he was an actor earlier, and he's hilarious.
Yeah?
I have him as an English teacher, and he's always making everyone laugh, and he's
Good.
just on the week of the show, he might get a little stern with you and make sure you know your lines. But up to then, he's just like your best friend.
Well, that's great. Anything to add?
honestly, I was just about to say the same.
Good. Well, I think it's really important. I mean, you can see it. You can see it when you guys are on stage and before and after. Just the quality of the programs that I've witnessed so far since I've been here. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun to go watch. And for me, the longer I'm here, the more pride I feel that you were in my classes last year when I was just subbing, and it feels good to see the students that I was teaching actually on the stage performing. So let's see what other, for example, you're both or all four, you two and the two Masafas are members of the class of 2030 here for Foxborough High School. What do you envision 2 to 3 years from now? Do you envision doing this at the high school, perhaps?
Yeah.
Maybe afterwards, or
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like
Yeah?
at least until college, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm probably, I aspire to be someone on Broadway.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Have you ever been to Broadway?
No, but I've seen like recordings, like pieces of recordings of
Yeah.
them, and they're really good.
Yes.
And I've seen like Broadway actors come to like Boston and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely think I would 3 years from now. I would definitely be doing acting,
Good.
even if I have to drag all my classmates into doing something.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is relevant anymore, but I used to live near New York City, and I've seen quite a few Broadway shows, and the cheaper ones are Wednesday matinees. They have a teacher special, and back then it was $10. That was many years ago. But you're way up high, but still any show that you can go to live is great. And if you see that, you'll be lit. You'll be lit up. You'll be on fire wanting to go that direction. So, well, I don't have much more to ask. I'm really excited to have you here today, you and the Masafas of the world. And is there anything you want to add about the production or the behind the stage people that support you guys? Anything at all?
Well, I get a lot of look into it because my mom is the tech director,
Okay.
and I'm her lead artist. So she's always calling me over the weekend, Ella, can you please help me design this? And I've designed like pretty much most of the set.
Wow.
So I get to see a lot of behind the scenes work on a set, and I can tell you, we're gonna have the sun rise. It's so cool. We're like, the level of creativity that goes into the sets, and like especially the costumes. We're gonna have like 2 people doing like a big elephant and a rhino, and we're gonna have these big bird twirling things.
Oh, yeah.
And like the makeup is incredible. I've seen pictures of it. I was being a model for some of it.
That's speaking of this, for example, you might not have any numbers offhand, like set people working the set. How many of those are there? Do you have any clue for a given show?
Usually,
I say quite a few.
yeah, like maybe 10 around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the lighting crews. I mean,
There's usually like
4?
There's usually like 2 people in the booth, and then like there's a couple other people that help around.
Right. Okay. Well, this is wonderful. I want to thank you for your time. Again, this recording will be out after the show is over, but I don't care. I'm looking forward to seeing this and the future shows that you might be in. I will be following you. I don't plan on going anywhere, and I think most people in Foxborough are lucky to have you, and are looking forward to this musical and future musicals. So, do you have anything to add?
Well, I would like to say that if you do want to be in the play, in the musical, if you're not a singer, you should probably do the play, because if you're in the musical, you're automatically going to sing no matter what.
Okay.
There's no getting out of singing.
Okay.
You have to sing if you're in the musical.
Okay.
Every ensemble, like if you get an ensemble, it's a huge opportunity, because I've always found the idea very cool that you get to like do the same movements as everybody else in a very choreographed way, but everyone has to sing no matter
Okay.
what. And
Well, that's good advice.
Usually every character dances too.
And
Okay.
don't be bummed out if you get ensemble. Ensemble is probably the most like amazing role. It's super fun. It's like full of dances, singing, fun parts. Don't be bummed out if you get ensemble.
Yeah, you might not see, like, we're main roles, you might not understand if we know what it's like, but if you're double casted, the other night you get to be ensemble. And you get the
Okay.
opportunity to see what it's like to be an ensemble, and you get to learn all these amazing songs, and not just the songs that you're required to do for your lead
Oh,
role.
that's great. Well, that's, let's hear it for double casting, huh? Okay. Well, folks, that's it. I'd like to thank the 4 members from the Ahern Middle School that play the role of Mufasa and Rafiki. And that's it for Around Foxborough. This is Joe Sanders, your host, and we'll see you next time.